Now to a huge fine for the parent company of discount retailers TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods. The stores are ordered to pay millions for knowingly selling recalled products, including infant sleepers with proven risks of death.
TJ Maxx is not a discount store. It is a test. Walk in without knowing what you are looking for, and you will leave with something that falls apart before the receipt fades. Walk in with the right knowledge, and you will leave with a bag that costs a fraction of what it should and lasts longer than anything you have ever paid full price for. The difference between those two outcomes is not luck. It is not about arriving on the right day or finding the right rack. 10 bags, the ones worth stopping for, picking up and carrying to the register without a second thought. The list starts with the find that most shoppers walk straight past every single time. Number 10. Fossil Leather Crossbody. Fossil is the most consistently underestimated brand in the TJ Maxx handbag aisle, and the reason most shoppers walk past it is exactly the reason smart shoppers stop. The name does not carry the cultural weight of a Kate Spade or a Coach, which means the Fossil rack gets less foot traffic and less competition, and the best pieces sit longer on the shelf waiting for the buyer who actually understands what she is looking at. The leather crossbody specifically uses a pebbled or smooth, genuine leather upper with a stitching quality that independent handbag reviewers have placed consistently above what the price implies. Fossil sources its leather from tanneries with documented quality standards, and the construction uses a combination of exterior stitching and an internal lining that holds up to the kind of daily use a crossbody actually experiences. The repeated opening and closing, the shoulder strap tension, the inevitable overpacking that every crossbody suffers by the third day of ownership. The internal organization is where Fossil earns specific and consistent praise. Multiple card slots, a zip interior pocket, and a key clip built into the lining are features that bags at 3 times the price frequently skip entirely in favor of a cleaner exterior aesthetic. Fossil builds them in because the brand's design brief has always centered on functional daily use, not occasion wear, not status signaling, a bag that does its job every single day without complaint. The hardware is the secondary confirmation. The zippers, the D-rings, the magnetic closure clasp all use a heavier gauge than most competitors at this price tier, which means the clasp does not loosen after a season and the zipper pulls do not snap off before summer ends, the two most common hardware failures in the mid-range crossbody category that most shoppers have simply accepted as inevitable. At TJ Maxx, Fossil crossbodies typically run between $40 and $75 against original retail of $80 to $130. The leather quality at that price point is genuinely difficult to beat from any other brand in the same aisle, and the shopper who passes it because the name is not exciting enough is leaving one of the best value propositions in the store on the rack. There is one more detail worth checking before the Fossil crossbody goes into your cart. Run your thumb along the interior seam where the lining meets the leather upper at the top opening of the bag. On a well-constructed Fossil piece, that seam is clean, flat, and finished with a consistent binding. On a piece that has been handled roughly in the store or stored incorrectly in the warehouse before reaching the shelf, that seam begins to show separation at the corners before the bag has ever been used. A seam separating before purchase is a seam that will fully separate within weeks of daily use, and catching it in the store takes 5 seconds and saves you the frustration of discovering it at the worst possible moment. The next brand is one almost everyone recognizes, but almost nobody knows how to buy correctly at TJ Maxx. Getting it wrong costs you money. Getting it right is one of the best handbag purchases available in the off-price market. Number 9. Kate Spade, mainline only. Kate Spade at TJ Maxx requires one specific and critical distinction that the store's display does not make for you. Kate Spade produces 2 entirely separate product lines. The mainline collection, designed for full-price department store and boutique retail, uses materials and construction consistent with the brand's accessible luxury positioning. The outlet line, produced specifically for off-price channels, including TJ Maxx, uses different materials, different construction standards, and a different quality control process. The two lines are not always easy to distinguish from the outside at a glance, and the price difference between them at TJ Maxx is frequently not large enough to signal which one you are holding. The way to tell the difference is the interior label. Mainline Kate Spade bags carry specific label language and serial number formats that the handbag community has documented extensively online. Outlet-specific pieces show subtle indicators in the construction details: thinner leather, lighter hardware, less careful stitching at the seam junctions. All of it visible once you know to look, invisible if you are simply responding to the name on the outside. A mainline Kate Spade bag at TJ Maxx is a genuinely strong purchase. The structured satchels and top handle bags, found between $70 and $120 against original retail of $200 to $300, are among the strongest accessible luxury finds in the store. An outlet Kate Spade at TJ Maxx is paying mainline money for outlet construction, and the name on the label is doing work. The bag inside it is not equipped to support. Subscribe right now. Every week we go exactly this deep into the brands, the construction details, and the shopping knowledge that separates a genuine TJ Maxx find from an expensive disappointment. You do not want to be shopping blind when the next video drops. Number 8. Dooney and Bourke Classic. Leather Dooney and Bourke has been manufacturing American leather goods since 1975, and when the classic leather category appears at TJ Maxx, specifically the Alto and Florentine lines, it is one of the most significant material quality finds available in the entire store. Full-grain leather is the highest quality cut of hide available in leather goods production. It retains the original grain surface of the leather, the surface that develops patina and character with age, rather than being sanded down and corrected the way lower-grade leather is processed to remove natural variations. A full-grain leather bag does not just hold up over time. It actively gets better. The color deepens. The surface develops a character specific to how you carry it, where your hand grips the handle, how it sits against your coat. A corrected grain or bonded leather bag aged the same number of years looks worn. A full grain bag looks lived in, which is an entirely different thing. At TJ Maxx, Dooney and Bourke classic leather pieces run between $80 and $160 against original retail of $200 to $350. The leather alone justifies that price against the competition in the same aisle. The stitching is the secondary confirmation. Dooney uses a saddle stitch technique in its classic leather line that distributes thread stress across two needles simultaneously, making each seam structurally stronger than the single needle machine stitching used by most comparable brands at any price point. The smell check at TJ Maxx is the fastest quality test available without a laboratory. Genuine full-grain leather has a specific, rich smell that bonded leather and synthetic leather do not produce, and it takes 3 seconds to perform before anything else about the bag is evaluated. Before moving on, there is a specific Dooney and Bourke line worth avoiding, even when it appears at TJ Maxx at an attractive price. The Pebble Grain collection, while carrying the same brand name, uses a lower-grade leather than the Alto and Florentine lines and does not develop the same patina or structural longevity over time. The distinction is visible in the surface texture, which feels more uniform and less natural than the full-grain alternatives, and in the weight of the bag in hand, which is noticeably lighter than a full-grain piece of comparable size. At TJ Maxx pricing, the Pebble Grain is not a bad bag. But it is not the full-grain argument that makes Dooney worth stopping for in the first place, and paying the same price for a lesser line, because both carry the same name on the outside, is the exact mistake this list exists to prevent. The next brand requires a specific kind of knowledge before you pick it up, because it is one of the most beloved names in the store, and also one of the easiest to get wrong if you do not know what you are actually looking for. Number 7. Coach Legacy Pieces. Coach bags at TJ Maxx fall into two very distinct categories, and the difference between them is worth understanding completely before the price tag makes the decision for you. Current Coach production, the bags flowing through to off-price retail today, uses a mixed quality standard that has been a recurring discussion in leather goods communities for nearly a decade. Several current lines use a coated canvas or a corrected grain leather that does not age the same way the brand's heritage production did. The legacy pieces are an entirely different conversation. Older Coach bags produced before the brand's major repositioning carry the specific serial number format and construction details that leather goods communities have documented extensively. The leather in those pieces is a different material from what carries the Coach name today. When a genuine legacy Coach piece appears at TJ Maxx, typically between $40 and $90, the leather and construction quality frequently exceeds what brands charging twice the price deliver in current production. The hardware on legacy Coach pieces is the secondary confirmation. Older Coach used solid brass hardware with a weight and finish that the current lighter alloy does not match, and the difference is immediately detectable when you handle the bag and move the hardware components. A quick search of the serial number format takes less than 2 minutes in the store and tells you exactly which side of that quality line the piece you are holding falls on. The next bag is from a brand most people have genuinely never heard of, and that unfamiliarity is the entire reason it is still on the rack when you arrive. Number 6. Brahmin Melbourne. Brahmin is a brand that most shoppers outside the American leather goods community have simply never encountered, which is genuinely remarkable, given that the brand has been producing leather bags since 1982 using a signature embossed finish that is immediately recognizable once you know what you are looking at. The Melbourne collection uses a crock-embossed, full-grain leather where the embossing goes into the leather, rather than sitting on top of it as a surface coating. That distinction matters significantly for longevity. A surface-applied texture wears flat at the highest contact points within a season of regular use. An embossed texture that goes into the leather maintains its definition through years of use because it is part of the material's structure, rather than a finish applied over it. The construction includes a structured base that holds the satchel's shape independently, without requiring the bag to be fully packed to avoid collapsing inward. The lining quality matches the exterior construction standard, rather than using a cheaper material on the inside, once the visible part of the bag has already been built to an impressive standard, which is the corner most mid-range bags cut the moment the exterior passes the display test. At TJ Maxx, Brahmin Melbourne pieces typically run between $90 and $160 against original retail of $250 to $360. At that price, the leather quality is the strongest argument relative to everything else available in the same aisle, because almost nothing at a comparable price point delivers full-grain embossed leather with the consistency and depth that the Melbourne finish achieves across the full bag. If this breakdown is changing how you shop at TJ Maxx, hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach more people who are tired of buying bags that disappoint before the season ends. Number 5. Longchamp Le Pliage. Longchamp Le Pliage is one of the most iconic bags in accessible French fashion, and its appearance at TJ Maxx is one of the most straightforward value propositions on this entire list. The bag's quality argument does not require leather construction to make it. The Le Pliage uses a coated nylon canvas body with a genuine leather trim and a saddle-stitched leather handle construction that has remained essentially unchanged since the bag's introduction in 1993. That construction consistency across 3 decades is not a failure to innovate. It is a deliberate maintenance of a formula that works, validated by owner testimonials, describing the same bag lasting 10 to 20 years of regular use with minimal maintenance, a durability record that almost no leather bag at any comparable price point has matched in the same real-world conditions. The nylon canvas is a specific coated material with water resistance and surface durability that allows owners to machine, wash the bag without damage. No leather bag at any price offers that with the same reliability, and the practical consequence is a bag that survives the conditions a daily bag actually encounters: rain, gym bags, coffee spills, commuter crowds, rather than the ideal conditions a display bag is photographed in. At TJ Maxx, Le Pliage pieces run between $50 and $90 against original retail of $100 to $145. For a bag with a documented multi-decade lifespan, that price requires almost no further justification from any other angle. The size you pick matters here. The small and medium function as genuine handbag replacements. The large and extra large are tote and travel replacements that need enough contents to maintain their shape comfortably. Buying the wrong size because TJ Maxx only had one option is one of the most consistent reasons people return a Le Pliage within a week. Not because the bag failed, but because the size did not match how they actually needed to use it. The next brand is one of the best-kept secrets in the entire TJ Maxx handbag section, and it is sitting on the rack right now, waiting for the one shopper who knows enough to stop. Number 4. Frye Leather. Frye is a heritage American leather goods and footwear brand with a manufacturing history dating back to 1863. And its appearance at TJ Maxx is one of the category's best-kept secrets among people who understand what the brand's leather sourcing actually represents. The brand uses full-grain leather across its core bag collection, sourced through long-established relationships with American and international tanneries that 160 years of manufacturing heritage has provided access to at terms that newer brands simply cannot negotiate. The leather aging process on a Frye bag is the most compelling argument for picking one up. Full-grain Frye leather develops a deep, rich patina over years of use that significantly improves the bag's appearance rather than degrading it, producing the kind of character that makes a 5-year-old Frye bag look more intentionally beautiful than it did when it was new. That is a quality outcome almost impossible to achieve with corrected grain or bonded leather alternatives, regardless of how carefully they are maintained. At TJ Maxx, Frye bags typically run between $80 and $160 against original retail of $200 to $350. The hardware uses solid metal rather than lightweight alloy. The stitching is a consistent saddle stitch rather than a single needle machine stitch. The lining quality matches the exterior construction standard across the range. All three of those characteristics are ones the off-price price tag does not prepare most shoppers to expect, which is precisely why the Frye rack at TJ Maxx is one of the most rewarding stops in the store for the buyer who knows to make it. What comes next is a find so unexpected that most people question whether it is authentic the moment they see the price tag. It is, and the value argument behind it is the strongest on this entire list. Number 3. Tory Burch Fleming Soft, mainline. Tory Burch at TJ Maxx generates the same immediate reaction in almost every shopper who encounters it: suspicion, because the price gap between the tag and what the brand normally costs is large enough to feel wrong rather than right. It is not wrong. Tory Burch does produce an outlet line, and that outlet production does flow through off-price retail channels. But the Fleming Soft collection specifically, which uses a quilted leather construction rather than the brand's older pebbled leather standard, is a mainline product that appears occasionally at TJ Maxx through standard off-price retail sourcing. The quilted leather uses a genuine lambskin or high-quality pebbled leather depending on the colorway, and the quilting stitching is the fastest construction indicator available in the store. Even tight and consistent quilting across the entire bag face indicates a production standard that the brand's outlet-specific pieces frequently do not match. Uneven spacing, loose thread tension, or quilting lines that do not align cleanly across panels indicate outlet production rather than mainline. That single check takes 30 seconds and is the entire difference between a genuinely exceptional TJ Maxx find and a purchase that delivers regret before the month is out. At TJ Maxx, verified mainline Fleming soft pieces run between $150 and $220 against original retail of $350 to $450. At that markdown, it is among the strongest accessible luxury value finds available in the entire off-price retail market, not just at TJ Maxx. One more check worth making before leaving the Tory Burch rack entirely. The Fleming Soft appears at TJ Maxx in both the standard size and the mini, and the construction standard between the two is not identical. The standard size uses a fuller leather panel construction with more substantial internal structure. The mini, while using the same quilted leather exterior, uses a lighter internal construction that makes it less suitable as a daily functional bag and more suitable as an evening or occasion piece. Buying the mini, expecting daily crossbody performance, and discovering the structure is insufficient for that use is one of the most consistent complaints in the Fleming Soft community, and it is entirely avoidable by understanding before purchase which size was built for which purpose. The next brand is the one that most people in the handbag community reach for first when someone asks where to find the best quality at TJ Maxx. And the construction behind that recommendation is worth understanding in full before you pick it up. Number 2. Lotus Leather Organizer. Lotus is a Los Angeles-based leather goods brand that has been producing women's leather accessories since 1995, with a singular focus on organization engineering and genuine leather construction. At a price point the brand has kept deliberately accessible across nearly 3 decades. The organizer tote and satchel category is where the full argument comes together. The interior construction of a Lotus organizer typically includes more than a dozen interior card slots, multiple zip and slip pockets in a specific organizational arrangement designed around how women actually use a daily bag rather than how the bag photographs in a product shot. There is a structured divider system that keeps the main compartment organized without requiring the owner to excavate through a single open cavity every time she needs something specific. The leather uses a full grain or top grain standard, depending on the specific line, and the surface finishing uses a protective treatment that resists scratching and moisture penetration more effectively than untreated full-grain leather, without sacrificing the material's natural breathability and aging characteristics, which is a specific technical investment that most brands at this price point skip in favor of a surface finish that photographs better and performs worse in actual daily use. At TJ Maxx, Lotus organizer pieces run between $55 and $110 against original retail of $120 to $220. For a bag with genuine leather construction, professional-grade interior organization, and a brand that has maintained consistent production standards for nearly 3 decades, that price is the strongest value argument on this list. One bag left. It is not the most expensive pick here. It is not the most recognizable brand name. But it earns the top position because it consistently delivers more useful construction per dollar than anything else on this list, and the shopper who finds it and understands what she is holding will never need to be told twice. Number 1. Vera Bradley Leather Collection. Vera Bradley built its name on quilted cotton bags, and most shoppers at TJ Maxx walk straight to the cotton quilted racks when they see the brand on the shelf. The leather collection is an entirely different product, formulated to an entirely different construction standard, and it is consistently the most under-reached for section of the Vera Bradley display in any TJ Maxx location. The leather collection uses a pebbled full-grain leather with a substantial body weight that holds structure independently without internal stiffeners that degrade over time. The hardware is a heavier specification than the brand's cotton line and a heavier specification than most mid-range leather bags at comparable price points, using solid metal rather than the lightweight alloy that accounts for the most common hardware failure in accessible handbags. The organization is where the brand's decades of understanding its actual customer base shows up most clearly. Multiple exterior pockets, a rear zip pocket, interior slip and zip compartments, and a key clip, all arranged in a layout that reflects how a bag is actually used through a day, rather than how a bag looks on a display hook with nothing inside it. The stitching at the handle attachment points uses a box and cross reinforcement pattern rather than a simple bar tack, distributing the stress of the bag's weight across a wider area of the upper and significantly extending the lifespan of the handle attachment before stress failure occurs. That is the single most common failure point in mid-range handbags, and most brands at this price tier address it with the cheapest available construction. Vera Bradley's leather collection addresses it with the correct one. At TJ Maxx, the leather collection runs between $45 and $85 against original retail of $120 to $180. At that price, with that leather specification, that hardware weight, and that organizational intelligence built into the construction from the inside out, it is the most complete value proposition in the TJ Maxx handbag aisle. On any given day, it appears on the shelf. 10 bags, 10 different reasons to stop, look closely, and buy with confidence rather than hope. The difference between a TJ Maxx visit that pays off and one that adds another disappointment to the back of your closet comes down to one thing. Knowing what you are actually holding before the price tag makes the decision for you. Thanks for watching. If this guide helped you shop smarter, let us know in the comments which TJ Maxx handbag find has surprised you the most. Want to see the same breakdown for TJ Maxx shoes and accessories? Click on the left. And if you do not want to miss our next shopping guide, hit that subscribe button right now.